costs money.
Okay, so what do you think about people spending obscene amounts of money on things like plastic surgery and Botox and
Well, Botox actually isn't very expensive at all. It's pretty minimal. It's pretty minimal and very uninvasive.
but
But
it's still expensive.
but the but
It's still a waste of well,
well, waste is a relevant term. But the types, it's like that thing you saw about the woman with the giant huge fake knockers, and she didn't actually like the whole point of getting that is to look better. I guess it's a relevant term. If she felt she looked better, if that's what she was going for, if that's the look she was trying to achieve, with like crazy fake giant knockers. But to me, it honestly looked kind of ugly and just looked like you said you thought you thought it looked like a butt on her.
it looked like a butt on her chest.
Like a butt
It
on her
was
chest
like
because it was
like
so,
I don't understand these women wanting to have like
not-
ginormous, unnaturally ginormous
well, the,
boobs.
and also they weren't tear like nice like teardrop.
It looked like
shaped.
an ass on her chest. Okay,
They were too perfectly round.
sorry.
And most people
I don't understand the need to
and
look
most
like
people's
that.
breasts aren't perfectly round like a ball. They're like more
Yeah.
like teardrop shape.
So that's why it
So
looked like some
it
sort
looked
of bubble
fake.
butt on her
It
chest.
didn't look like a natural breast, but then some of them they can do are like undetectable. So, but then again, it's like really like
Yoda is very upset.
it's like really not going to like affect your daily life. It's not like dangerous to have small breasts. So like, just some people think they want to be like more feminine. They feel it like adds to like
That is not feminine. That's
adds-
freaking
no.
unnatural.
We're talking about ones that get them that look natural, like the ones that like actually look natural. Like, because some people feel their femininity is linked to stuff like their appearance in terms of their chest and other areas of their body, and they want to feel more like feminine rather than like 12-year-old boys. So they think by
I don't
getting
think,
giant, huge, not. But then they go to the point where they take it to the extreme.
I don't know. Like I've never. I mean, I don't.
They take it to a level that's over the top, and it doesn't look natural, and it looks like a fake fake ass, as you said, on their chest. And
Yeah,
so
but
that's
it's
where-
not. First of all, it's not healthy. I just like I made a video about it's okay to want to look nice, and especially when it's to do with self-expression, you know, like when you
But that
have
is
your
their
own
self-
style.
that
That's
is-
not self-expression, that's low self-esteem.
They're using
to
that
me.
to self-express their ability as a woman, because they want to be more feminine, as a more feminine woman, and their femininity is linked to things like your chest, 'cause that's very feminine. That's a very feminine type thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like some men try to get like some men want to be.
I don't know,
more
breast
masculine.
implants are just not healthy for the body. I don't have
Well, no
like
one,
sometimes when people have like a major like sort of defect like with their face
some
or
people do feel
their
that having a really,
teeth or
some people do feel that having a very flat chest is
like
a
if they
defect.
have a really serious metabolic problem where they do need the stomach staples because they can they have a really serious problem with weight gain, and it's
Don't swallow.
benefit
don't
outweighs
eat,
risk.
Don't eat, yeah, they need less cupcakes inside their system. Less trips to McDonald's. Less cupcakes. The amount of surgeries for
So you're okay with breast implants but not stomach staples for the
I'm not okay with
health
either.
and
I'm
safety?
not okay with either. I'm just saying some people don't do it because they want to look horrible. They do it because they want to. Well, the rate of stomach stapling surgeries and other types of weight loss surgeries is skyrocketed. It's absolutely skyrocketed.
Well, it's going, yeah, like there's other ways to lose weight, especially like
skyrocketed.
lifestyle,
People
even
are
just
lazy.
lifestyle changes. People have no idea. Like for me, of course, I'm
People are lazy.
I like to analyze things, and there's so many reasons why somebody could have a defective metabolism. I used to be a lot chubbier, and I figured out that it was like a blood sugar issue, and that caused me. And there were certain things that were causing me to kind of have a sluggish thyroid, and there was things that I did to kind of change my
But
body
if you
type.
go to McDonald's every single day of your life, and you go there 3 times a day, and you have, and
Well,
you
my
have
body
the
type's
food-
changed now.
Our food has grossly been altered over the years. I mean, there are some bad stuff in our food, but the food itself is not like people. There's an aisle that shouldn't even exist in the grocery store. There's like an aisle that has nothing but chemical, and it's not even food. It doesn't even come like Doritos. Like it's not even elements of something that grew in the ground anymore. It's just like stuff from labs that they chemically altered into a press shape triangle. It's not even food anymore. You're not even eating actual food. You're eating chemicals. You're eating a bag of chemicals. That aisle shouldn't even exist. And like,
it's
that aisle with the chips and
disgusting.
the pop and
Frankenfood.
No, that aisle, that particular aisle should be banned from most grocery stores. All it has in it is crummy chips, caffeine loaded jolt and bolt and a bunch of candies, and that aisle, it should not even exist.
And dye and like
dyes and perfumes,
materials
and
that should not be in food.
And then people are gaining weight and are getting worse, and then they're turning to cosmetic surgery. I am definitely convinced that those
there's an entire industry that preys on people, they get people who want a quick fix.
They want people as sick as possible. So these industries are linked. They want people as sick as possible so they can have more stuff like drugs and plastic surgeries, and like they help them. And I guarantee those industries are working together. They say, make the people as sick as possible. Yeah. We'll make you as healthy as possible. And they're like making
it. And they're absolutely they pit against.
They're linked together. And they have these companies that are linked.
Freaking ping pong game.
Yeah, I know. It's like why has diabetes never been cured? All the research, it's never been cured, and then
the cures are being suppressed.
The cures are being suppressed. And so people are forced to spend money and on like stuff for their diabetes, and then we have like, why is breast cancer still around? Why are these things growing? People want you to be somewhat sick, and then people are spending money on all these crazy like cosmetic surgeries.
And also like even just wellness products and stuff like Super Burn and stuff. It's like, well, just drink some actual green tea and like eat really well and do your research, figure out where you're going to get your nutrients and go outside, go exercise, instead of like all these quick fix like products that are like $60, $65, $99 and like, you know, just all these like special. I mean, I guess some of them are convenient. Like sometimes I do get like smoothie powder, like raw smoothie powder or something for convenience.
Like
yeah,
you could make your own smoothie naturally.
I make most of my own stuff from scratch.
I used to work years ago when I was at college. We ran a juice bar, and it was like even the ice cubes were like frozen juice, not ice, because we didn't want to water our things down with a bunch of ice that would like make it thick. So we wanted it cold, so we had real fruit ice cubes instead of water ice cubes.
But I mean,
and it was like made with yogurt and stuff like that. And like these companies are and also some of these other companies are preying on people, and some of the things aren't bad for you, and they're like, oh, well, someone said that this is bad for you, so we'll charge 3 times as much and tell you. And some of the times they're lying to you. It's not even what it is. They're like actually making it up.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, is that the wellness industry is all like, come to Papa, when people are all scared of the other side. But what I'm trying to, okay, so back to the looks thing, like there's so cosmetic surgeons and like cosmetic dentists and stuff, they really prey on people's sort of insecurities. They bombard people with the media bombards people with a certain idea of perfection and a certain standard, you know, like for example, I don't know, personally, I don't think big boobs are, I've known some absolutely stunningly beautiful women that are pretty much almost flat chested, and I mean, I'm not a guy or anything, but I've always just admired their beauty. Like, I don't think the size really matters. Like, I mean, I think being a nice, healthy weight and shape is nice.
They do that size because they want to draw the attention, and then they wear the lowest cut shirt.
Why don't people just optimize their functionality for their body type and like love their body type? And
ideally that would be perfect, but people are insecure and they think they're going to feel better.
People always want to change. It's the fact that the media is all about like revamping and changing.
Yeah, but then what about somebody
who always want to have the grass that looks greener?
What about someone who felt a certain way and felt really good about their body, had to get a mastectomy because they had cancer?
That's different.
They enjoyed a certain
completely different
look. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. They enjoyed that image of seeing themselves in the mirror with the big boobs. They were natural, and then they had to go out and then they had to walk around with a flat chest because they had to get a mastectomy.
Well, they usually reconstruct that,
and that's the same thing. It's similar. Plus, So what's the difference between that person? Shouldn't they just accept the fact?
What
that they
about
lost
somebody
them?
who didn't have big boobs in the first place that was okay with that and had to have a mastectomy and was grieving the fact that that happened and is looking at people that go and destroy their natural breasts and get implants and thinking, what the hell are you doing? You know, it's the same thing as like me. Like I have like very sensitive teeth and I've had a lot of issues, which is a bit personal, but I don't care. And like people go and like destroy their teeth and get these really stupid, like overly horseish, like fake looking veneers. They look like dentures. You want to talk about like looking unnatural? Like people that actually have dentures don't even want their teeth to look as unnatural as that. Like they look so unnatural. Like it looks like a horse like smiling. They're like perfectly straight, perfectly white.
It's like in the old days.
It's not even appealing.
No.
It's like inhuman or something. I've seen, remember like Miley Cyrus and what's her name, Taylor Swift. They both had like cosmetic dental work, and you could like the People magazines were pointing out the before and after thing. You know, they looked better before. They had these cute natural looking teeth, and then afterwards they were like, and they had this like perfectly straight, like creepy looking.
In the industry, that's what
they're in their 20s. Why would they want to go and destroy their natural enamel and pay thousands of dollars just because some dentists? Remember what I told you before about that cosmetic dentist? Like they get into your head, and this is before I had like the calcium issues with my pregnancy. Like I went because I don't have the straightest teeth, like they're a bit crooked and I have an overbite, and you know, like I've been a bit insecure about that. I'm a lot less insecure now. But like I went there and he like majorly exaggerated it. They took pictures of like every angle. They got me to smile and took pictures of every angle, and then they were like, unfortunately on this side this tooth goes in and it makes your face appear a little square. And then they're like, your bite's really forward. It causes an aerodynamic impression when people like look at you, or like really getting right in my like I felt like Quasimodo when I went out of there. They told me that my smile was super ultra asymmetrical, which it is, and like that it made one of my sides of my face look closed and one of them open, and I was like do I look like this? Like, you know,
but Rosie, some people enjoy a certain look and then something happens to them. Like for example, there's some women who okay, they get pregnant, their boobs swell and they get larger and they like the look of it and they enjoy the look of it, and then they have a couple children, and then it sags and then it looks even worse, and so they enjoy a certain look that they don't get to have, and it's like, well, the only option is to go and they felt a little more better, about perkier, and then they have to go back, and then the only option is to get breast implants.
Yeah, well, I know.
Or like this woman who actually kept breastfeeding her son just so she could keep him large. And her son was like 6 or 7. And she constantly kept breastfeeding him just so she could keep them large. It kind of seems a little selfish, frankly. But
yeah,
she wanted the milk to keep coming in, so she kept breastfeeding her kid so the milk would keep coming in, and it would be like big and swollen.
Yeah, I mean, the kid's not getting hurt, but it's still, yeah, it's a bit of a vain.
Mentally, maybe. I don't know.
How old was he when she stopped?
Like 7.
Oh, that's freaking. Yeah, I don't know.
Mentally, he might have gotten like scarred because he like. But the whole idea was, well, it was two-pronged.
She boy, like,
probably didn't want to attach. I don't know. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was a boy. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was a boy, but then he didn't. It might have been a combination of detachment, but she also didn't want her boobs to go back because
it's just that some people, you know, all these people that are have good health and stuff go and like cut themselves and drill teeth and destroy them and go and chop and tuck and whatever and all these things to themselves, and they're putting their bodies through unnecessary trauma and putting foreign materials inside their bodies that might not be the best thing for their bodies, and they're expensive on top of that.
Okay, body altering modifications have been going on for thousands of years, well beyond plastic cosmetic surgeries. Ancient like people in the Africans would put rings on their necks, and they would stretch the ring up as high as possible, and it would actually push down the collarbone, and that was considered beautiful in their country. To have
I guess we have been doing it. It's like a modern version.
And so it's not just in the last 100 years with cosmetic surgeries. They've been ancient societies have been altering their bodies with tattoos and with other body forms of modification.
I know, but when
each
is it
culture has
okay?
its own form of beauty.
But when is it a form of self-expression, and when is it practical, and when is it just
varies from culture to culture. It varies from culture to
damaging.
culture. Beauty varies from culture to culture. In some countries, it is beautiful to see someone with a giant fake, with their neck stretched way tall. To me, that looks ugly. And other countries have like lip discs in their faces.
Yeah.
And each person each form of beauty varies from culture to culture. And then some people sometimes it's medically, it's sort of a cross between like this woman who literally, I'm not making this up when I tell you this, she actually was too short to work on an airplane as a stewardess, so she broke her legs, got a bunch of rods put in them so it would keep the bone from forming back togetger, and new bone was actually going to form in between the legs.
Because she wanted to be a stewardess?
And she had to do hours and hours of training to retrain her new legs, and completely fine. She just was short. And
because she wanted to be a stewardess.
Yeah, she wanted to be taller, and the height requirement would not allow her to work as a stewardess, and she broke her legs. But it was also a mental thing because she wanted to look taller. She wanted to be nice and tall.
So I can see this coming from like a little girl fantasy of when she was on an airplane with her parent or something, and she had this like beautiful stewardess was like is somebody she wanted to be when she grew up or something like that.
You have to be a certain height.
The only explanation for that.
You have to be a certain height.
Psychology behind it.
You have to be a certain height to work as a stewardess because the airplanes will not allow you because you can't lift the bags into the baggage compartment.
Yeah, but I mean,
she didn't meet the height requirement.
Is she getting paid like $500 an hour?
I know, she broke her leg literally, and it reformed new bone. Her legs fused apart and new bone formed.
That's ridiculous.
In between her legs.
I don't know how short she was, but I'm short and I don't mind it. I don't even wear heels.
She had to do hours of therapy to actually retrain her legs to walk again because they were like trying to get a new bone.
That's unreasonable. I'm sorry. That's unreasonable. Yeah. When is it reasonable? When is it unreasonable?
And she had to have pins
with cosmetic surgery
to pull the bone apart and painfully yank the bone apart so that it wouldn't form back together. A new bone was forming.
I don't even want to hear anymore. Yeah. This hurts too much. When is it?
She's when? Nuts.
Okay, but when is it? When is it? Reasonable. We've talked about unreasonable. When is it reasonable to have cosmetic surgery?
It varies. There's no one answer. It varies.
Okay, so what about if somebody has like a like no offense, but like a really big nose, like a really
it varies from person to person, and it varies from whether it's going to medically prevent you from having a normal life. Or you can live on a regular.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Live a regular life, or
if somebody doesn't, I mean, it's the thing is that unless it's a really important reason.
It depends. It varies.
The amount of money that's wasted compared to what else you could use those precious funds for.
Yes, but if somebody
has for charity, for so many important things.
But if somebody has such large breasts naturally that they're actually causing serious back injury. You're not going to be able to make any money.
That's different. Okay, that's
some people
practical.
Get them shrunk down and they get a breast reduction.
Yeah.
And then some people can't.
That's practical though. That's practical.
And then some people are so depressed that they can't function until they get their looks changed.
Well, if it's really, really, really intense, there are some people that do that ear surgery because some people have like that sticking out ears, right?
And then some people are transgender and their looks and they look at themselves and it makes them cry to look in the mirror at themselves because they don't look bad. They just don't look like what they would want to look like, and they want to look like somebody else or the
to
guy.
Each their own. I don't have an issue with any of that.
I think
that's different. The transgender thing.
He wanted to be black, and he got
different.
I got his skin.
He wanted to be black.
Because
I never heard of it.
He couldn't look at himself unless he was a black man, and it made him cry to think of other people that he couldn't be a black man.
I haven't heard of that. I've heard of, black people wanting to be white people, like the certain, famous people that we know of, right? But
Michael Jackson actually had a cosmetic procedure. Michael Jackson's changes. If you're talking about him, he didn't want to be white. He had vitiligo, and vitiligo changed his skin, and then he filled in.
I heard it was a combination of both. I heard it was a combination.
He had the vitiligo first, and then what happened was rather than there was too much of his skin had changed. The pigment had actually been lost. That he instead of filling in it, he could not fill in the pigment to make himself black again. The only option was to go completely white, It wasn't that he wanted to be a white person. He had no desire to be white. He just didn't want to live halfway between
I don't
black
know.
and white.
I heard it was because he wanted to be.
No, he had vitiligo.
But he had a reason.
He had vitiligo in his skin.
Either way, even if.
And he was so dark before that we're talking about a complete change where all the pigments were lost from his skin. He had vitiligo. He was not a vain man who just wanted to look like a white man. He had vitiligo.
Okay, so what if... So anyway, I mean, certain cosmetic procedures, if it's getting in the way of functioning in some way, if it's really, really noticeable, and it, like it's a sort of like almost like a deformity kind of thing, and it bothers the person repeatedly, then, I mean, that's their choice. That's totally different. I mean, I'm talking about people that have perfectly pleasant looks in the first place and some character. The problem is that we forget about the fact that some flaws are... Yeah, but flaws are character. I mean, it shows that you're human.
Exactly.
And that's what I like about... I mean, I don't even mind my flaws anymore because it shows that I'm human.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a completely perfectly symmetrical face, and I have a big overbite and whatever.
Flaws are natural. They're part of...
Sometimes I'm a bit self-conscious when I laugh because my teeth stick out.
Flaws are actually a healthy part of our society.
Actually, I've trained myself to...
natural healthiness of our society, and then some people want to get rid of them, but then some people, if you lived your whole life looking at yourself one way, and then one day something happened, as I said, some women get pregnant, their boobs get larger, and then they like it, they really enjoy it, they really like it, and they like to look at themselves, their top nice and full, nice and filled out, and then it sags, and it sags back down, and then their only option is to get cosmetic surgery.
And then I'm almost for, like in body modifications, I'm almost for people doing odd things to their body that might be questionable if it's like to make a statement or it's kind of like to self-express and it's original, as opposed to somebody trying to assimilate and look perfect because of, you know what I mean?
There is no one. Perfect is like if
it's
irrelevant.
A style,
yes, but
it's like
perfect is a relevant term. It's all about what you... Perfect is in the eye of the beholder.
I'm talking... You know what I'm talking about.
No, because there is no one perfect.
I'm talking about a person looking as perfect as they can be.
But there is no one perfect. Each culture has different versions, and then each person is different in a different way. There is no one perfect. There's no such thing as a one perfect style. So when you're trying to look a certain way, you're achieving something that's unachievable because nothing is perfect. And then being perfect, flaws are part of being perfect. So it's sort of an oxymoron in a way.
And then it just looks creepy. That's the thing about the veneers, like the
Joe
teeth.
Rivers.
No, but I mean, like look at. I got a rant about cosmetic dentistry because do you know how many thousands of dollars people spend getting these veneers when they're like it's not necessary. Like fix your teeth when they have issues and fix them nicely so it looks nice, or how it's practical, and fix it so that it functions. But why destroy teeth that don't have problems, like that traumatize and put all these like porcelain to look perfect? Like, I'm not saying that out of like resentment, because even if I had the opportunity to get something more expensive stuff done, I do it for practicality.
Well, but it's like this rapper who blinged out his teeth, and they're gold, and they're golden blinged, and it's like, and now he has like gold blings on his teeth. But that's not perfect. To me that's hideous. But he's like have a certain kind of look, because some people in the industry want to, and then
that's for looks. There is a function, like some people get gold because they have a deep bite, right?
I'm not talking about replacing a teeth. He made his entire mouth gold.
Yeah, that just looks silly.
That just looks stupid, and he's got this crazy chains,
it just like
and big
hurts
rapper,
my eyes. It's like
and just like blinged out gold
too much
teeth,
shine.
He's a crazy rapper, and like we live in a society where people, and then I think a lot of people who have want to change their look, they need to work on their mental status before.
But what if they needed to get a gold tooth? What if they needed it?
That's different. That's a medical procedure to have a gold tooth or something.
I don't know if I would.
We're talking about their entire mouth of teeth, perfect normal teeth, blinging them out gold. Because there's this rapper wants to be, I don't know his name, there's a rapper who intentionally...
There's lots of rappers, not one rapper. There's a lot of rappers that do that.
Who have crazy blinged out gold teeth, and they think, oh, it's going to be awesome because I'm going to have these crazy blinged out gold teeth.
Yeah, but also people with deep bites that like easily can, like crack or break their teeth, like if they had porcelain.
That's different.
Gold is less like breakable.
That's
Apparently
different.
It's more.
They grind and then they put in gold to prevent the grinding.
Prevents
but
the grinding.
That's totally different.
I've been told that I should do that, but I don't think I would.
The back of your teeth will be gold, and you wouldn't even see it because it would be way in the back of your mouth.
Yeah, but I'm a singer.
It would be way in the back of the mouth.
Yeah, but
like at the very back, you wouldn't even see it, like the molars.
You would if I was singing. You have to open your mouth like quite wide to belt a song.
But then again,
I wouldn't be able to.
Every culture
I would be too self-conscious.
Every culture has own level of beauty, and different people have a form of beautiful. Like in some cultures, people like, for example, men for example are like, most of men's appearance is linked to hair, like hair on your face, hair on other parts of your body.
Is it?
A lot of men's appearance is linked. A lot of men's appearance because they don't.
I haven't really thought about it.
There was actually a movie. It's called Mansome, and most of the movie talks about men and their appearance with their hair. And then some people get money for having crazy long beards, and they like their beautiful long shiny beards. And other people will like shave every inch of hair off their entire body. And then other people spend money on hair transplants. A significant portion of men's beauty is linked to hair.
I didn't know
hair,
that, but
or adding
makes
hair.
Sense.
Adding hair for like, they all want to look like and it depends on the culture where we live. Like in other countries, beards are revealed. Like thick, long, flowing beards are considered beautiful. In like North America, a lot of people find it like hippie or hillbilly-ish to have long beards, and so they have.
It depends on depends on the person.
And then they have
depends on the person.
Well, no, the culture as well, and then some people lose their hair, they go bald, and then they get hair transplants, and then in the olden days they looked like rows of crazy coarse hair plugs, but now they're updated to the point where they look great. But then other people just say, okay, I'm just going to walk around bald.
No more good old toupees.
And they walk around bald. Nothing. You wouldn't be. There's so many men are bald in society that it doesn't seem weird to be bald. To walk around bald in our society as a man, it's not wrong. It's just some people, women, like
a lot of women do like the look of a full head of hair, and I will admit that.
And then some women prefer a hair to be totally gone, like smooth. Like I know some men.
I'm very fussy. Too much hair or too little hair is both like
some
a turn
men
off for me.
like it. Or like this one guy who had a mustache that was so thick that he couldn't see his mouth anymore, and the beard was so thick and long that it went right over the mouth, and you looked like a ventriloquist basically, because there was no his lips and his mouth were covered so much.
He could easily be a ventriloquist then.
No, people sometimes said, "Oh, are you a ventriloquist?"
I can be a ventriloquist.
His mouth would move up and down, and you actually couldn't see the mouth move up and down anymore because the mustache was so thick.
I used to be able to do it better.
No, the mustache, his mouth was moving normally up and down, but the mustache was so crazy thick that you couldn't see anymore, and he actually won contests, like beard contests, and so his look was to have crazy long beard, lots of hair, lots of beard, and he never trimmed he just trimmed his hair, but never once did he actually cut it or shave since he was a teenager.
So bottom line here, because we should wrap up. Yeah. So you know what, if it's for self-expression and it's not too harmful, or if it is, something that is, required because it interferes with functioning, then that's important as well. But if it's really not something that wasn't like necessary and is more to do with trying to look perfect and assimilate, then I think it's tragic because it's just a gross waste of money, but and it's not. It shows that the person doesn't really love themselves. I don't care if they say, "I think I love I do love myself." Screw you. You don't know. Like, this is my choice and stuff.
We shouldn't judge people for making them make their choices.
Yes, but in a way, it's more of a money. Like for me, it's more like a repulsive waste of money, thousands of dollars. Some people that are rich, should be donating that money to people that need it, not like making their nose look perfect like 10 million times in a row, or like getting like perfectly overly horseish teeth.
They actually get hooked
when it's not necessary.
And they have what's called body dysmorphic disorder, and no matter what they do,
It's because of all the images they probably see of themselves in the media. Like, I'm talking about celebrities now.
A lot of people try to fix a mental issue with a physical issue,
or also wrong. Because when they're wealthy like that, they don't know, they get this like mental virus of they thought money would make them happy, and it doesn't, so they keep spending more and more to try and be happy, and they're empty, that kind of thing. But still, Wouldn't it be better to give their money away to people that need it and then see those people's faces light up in happiness? That's what I would.
Of course, but they have most people.
Well, it's a sickness. It's called selfishness in the extreme.
I don't know the percentage, but
sorry to be judgmental.
I don't know the percentage, but I would say a huge.
I mean, nobody. I can be selfish sometimes. I'm sure you can be too. We all have that character flaw. I mean, yeah, but I mean, like to the extreme that you're wealthy and obscenely wealthy, you have extra money, and you're constantly spending it on superficial looks. I mean, where's the heart? Where's the compassion?
I don't know the percentage, but a massive portion of people who try to fix a physical issue, mostly suffering with a mental issue, and they're using the physical issue.
And it's unfortunate that
what
they're
happens
so
is they fix it. Usually what happens is it does solve it for a tiny bit of time, but after a while it goes away. Like this guy, like this person.
But really, that passing it on would make them happier.
It goes away after a while, and once it disappears, they go back and they still have the same mental issue in their mind.
Yeah, but they might even realize, like say for example, there's been people, like rich people, I don't remember the story specifically, that have been had to do time, and they were very fortunate, had nice houses, but say they were doing it on the say they were corrupt and they were committing crime and
Martha Stewart,
fraud and all this. Yeah, okay, Martha Stewart, that's one example, but that came to your mind. But I mean, but there's people like that have been forced to do community service, and they've actually said, oh my God, I had no idea how good this made me feel. And it's changed them. They never thought to be charitable before, and they were forced to be, and they had no idea how much their hearts opened up and how much they were able to
change the world instead of changing yourself.
Develop the ability to have remorse and compassion and all that kind of thing. So it's very interesting.
Rather than your physical appearance, obviously, duh.
I don't think people are inherently bad. Like Pearson said that you told him this the other day. Pearson says to me, Peter said that people aren't bad, they're just misguided.
I did say that to him. Yeah.
Wow.
I think I did.
That's exactly right.
I think I did tell him that because I don't know where he got it from, but somehow he got the idea about bad people in the world, like bad neurotypicals.
How bad neurotypicals.
That's what he said. And not all of them are bad. They're just unfortunately like a bit misguided, or they've been they've been led down the wrong path by other people or something.
Yeah.
And that's what he called them. He's like
neurotypical.
And so anyways.
Okay. Well, anyway, we got to sign off.